Hello everyone, this is Childa here, and welcome back to another video. So today, guys, I'm going to be doing another 3 tips video, 3 tips Thursday. Thank you for your support on last week's about the video appearances for YouTube, and I thought today I would add on to that a little bit. I did talk about making thumbnails. Custom thumbnails really enhances the appearance of your video. So today I wanted to show you guys how to really make a good thumbnail, and this will cover all 3 platforms. Or 3 platforms today: Geometry Dash, YouTube, and Photoshop. So I'm touching all 3 of those things by doing this video. So I hope you guys enjoy and find this useful. And let's get to tip number 1. Okay, guys, so I have footage of Dance Floor by ADL. I'm not going to upload this to my channel. I just use this for background footage when I'm doing voiceovers and stuff. But the first thing I do is I pause the video in the player, and I just move the little cursor along, looking for a good, appealing thumbnail. Something that has action in it. Okay, so that looks like a good thumbnail right there. Because, you know, you have the ball with the trail, and it's arcing, and it's going towards these things, and you see the level and stuff. And basically what you want to do is what I would do, is I would take a screenshot of the level, not necessarily the whole level, because sometimes I don't like to get the progress bar in there. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just do something like that. And by the way, on Mac, you do Shift-Command-4, and then you can move around your cursor for a custom screenshot with custom dimensions instead of doing Shift-Command-3, which will just screenshot the whole screen. So I'll do something maybe like that. And then I take my screenshot, it's on my desktop right here. And the first tip is, once you open Photoshop, after this screenshot that you take, just gonna wait for a second until Photoshop. Okay, guys, so here we are in Photoshop, and since I took the screenshot and the predominant color in this screenshot is purplish or pink, what I would do is add text that is purple or pink. So let's just say we use the Pusab font because that's the Geometry Dash font. I would write out the name of the level, Dance Floor, and have it in sort of a complementing pink color. It doesn't have to be exactly the same color as the background, because then it kind of blends in. It should kind of be the same, you know, spectrum, or the same side of the color wheel, just a little bit different. And that's my first tip, just kind of use things that go along with the background. So if I have text, it'll be, you know, purple, because the background and the thumbnail is mostly purple, just the screenshot I took. Okay, guys, so the second tip is to do the little things. The little things really enhance the thumbnail, especially in Photoshop, and I normally use these a lot. So if you go up to the layers here, you have where it says ADL, Dance Floor, and Layer 0, which is the screenshot itself. If you right-click on it, it says Blending Options, and blending options are extremely useful. All of these things are really great tools for you to enhance whatever layer you're using. So, for example, if I bevel and emboss, you see how it kind of looks like, you know, it kind of like buffs itself. It looks kind of like metallic and cool. It makes it more 3-dimensional, so that's a cool way to enhance it. You can also contour while you're embossing, and then you can also change a lot of the things, like the range, to make it more thick or more, you know, thin, I guess, I don't know. But you can like edit all of these things and just play around with it until it looks right for you. You can add textures. Stroke, which I use all the time, which is an outline. You can change the thickness. You can, yeah, don't do that. Do not. But maybe something around here to have a nice thickness. You can change the color. You can change the opacity of all these things. You can have an inner shadow, which I use a lot also. And then an outer glow is what I use as well, to kind of make the text pop. I normally choose white. It's default a little bit yellow, but change it to white, because that's kind of the best. Or you could change it to the color that whatever the thing is. So for example, this is kind of grayish. You could have it pop out as gray, but like it doesn't really stand out as much. Also, things like drop shadows are really cool to give a little shadow to the text. A gradient, which I sometimes use at a lower opacity, because I don't like the whole overlay thing. So you can do like rainbow gradient, or, you know, stripes, or like red, or anything. I've been using these a lot recently. Before I thought they would look kind of ugly, but if you put the opacity right and, you know, change a bit of these things here, they do tend to look pretty good, and that looks actually very nice. So just look at the difference between Dance Floor, which is just plain text, and ADL, which has that, you know, effect of the glow, the gradient, the shadows, the stroke, you know, all that stuff, and that definitely makes the thumbnail look a lot better. Okay guys, so tip number 3, I fixed up the thumbnail a little bit, but tip number 3 is to add other images / layers. So basically this tip is kind of optional, but I think it definitely brings the thumbnail to life a bit more. So for example, the difficulty of this level is hard. So on my desktop, I just have a hard difficulty face. So I'm just going to drag that in, place it somewhere. And you can download these, just search like geometry-hard difficulty face, and you can just download, you know, a transparent file of it. It's really easy to use. And I'm going to place this over here. So that way, from the thumbnail, people will know, oh, this level is hard difficulty. So that adds to the thumbnail, that adds, you know, like, to what people want to see. If you put if you beat a demon and you put the demon face in the thumbnail, that is definitely going to get a lot more views. I mean, like, for hard and harder and stuff, it's not that much. But, like, demon is, you know, like, right up in your face, because that icon is super, like, unique, even though it's, you know, not applicable to this level. Like, if Dance Floor was a demon, you know, you guys would see, like, that face, like that demon face, and I put that in all my thumbnails when I beat demons and stuff. So that really grabs a lot of viewers' attention. But let's go back to this. So since this is a hard level, so we drag the hard face in, resize it a bit because it was too big. By the way, Command T is how you can edit objects. Command T, and then you can just move it around and size it and stuff like that, and rotate it. But then also just do the same things you did with the text. So you can, you know, do all the same things here. You can add a stroke, you can add drop shadow, you can even add a gradient on a face. You can make a rainbow face. I do that sometimes. If you set the opacity right, it doesn't look like that. Looks pretty alright, and you can change it to other types of gradients. Like this one kind of makes it glow a bit more, which I like. And other things that I also add is, let's say there are 3 coins in the level. I have 3 coins that I put together, and I saved it as a PNG, so you can find the coin image online. And I'll either put that, I normally put that on top of like the head kind of, and kind of hide it. So, and then I'll drag the layer under. As you can see, the hard layer, the user coins is above it in the layer window. So if I drag it below, it goes below it. So I normally do that with coins. It kind of looks silly, but I normally do that to add things. But also I add visual effects. So sometimes if you just edit this layer, it's not enough. You can't really do too much. If I do add a gradient, like a rainbow gradient, it looks kind of flashy and cool. Actually, that does not look that flashy and cool. Normally I add a little gradient like this, so the text stands out from the background, so I make the background darker. You can also do a satin, but that kind of looks a little too dark sometimes, but I normally just use a gradient to make the background darker. But the background doesn't really have any effects to it. So I just looked for different things on Google Images and stuff, and I found a picture of, let's see, where is it? Stardust. I use this in a lot of my thumbnails now. So as you can see, it's just like little stardust and stuff. I drag it so it fits the whole screen, and then you can edit this too. So what I do is, you can't really see the stardust that well if it's, you know, a small thumbnail. So you add a glow, and then, you know, all the stars get bigger. Then I'll add a gradient, and this one you don't need to change the opacity because it just looks good how it is, and like a rainbow gradient on these little particles. So as you can see, it's like red up here and like green and stuff. So it's like that kind of adds, you know, a pop to it, and you can move this layer up however you want. I normally put it at the top of things so everything is covered by this stardust. I also use a comet sometimes. I use this in a few of my demon videos. It doesn't look the best, but sometimes it looks cool. Like maybe if I make it a bit smaller, it'll look a little bit cool. Oh, that's not okay. Like maybe if I put it over ADL like that, and then I'll make the and I'll make it a little bit more opaque. So let's do like 50. No, actually, that does not look good. Let's do like 75, and then let's put it behind it, under it rather, and then resize it so like it sticks out a bit. Like that kind of looks cool, right? It's like an opaque little comet behind the name. So that kind of gives a little bit more detail. People don't really like notice this stuff. Like people aren't going to be like, oh, there's a comet under ADL, I'm going to watch a video. But it just shows that you're, you know, caring about the thumbnail and adding more stuff. And I think that's a pretty good thumbnail in the end, guys. Like that's, you know, an attention grabber. And last week I talked about how you want the thumbnail to be eye-catching but not misleading, and this thumbnail is not misleading. It's a screenshot of a part of the level. It says Dance Floor ADL, so there's the name of the level, the creator. It shows the difficulty. It shows that you have 3 coins, and it also, you know, pops out. Very, very eye-catching, and this is definitely a good thumbnail. So guys, thank you for watching another 3 tips video. Hopefully you found this useful, tying into last week. I know a lot of you guys do not have Photoshop, but you know, I don't use any of those online thumbnail maker things because I've used them a few times, but I think they're low quality and they're very restrictive. So if you have a Mac, it most likely comes with Photoshop, or mine at least did. I don't know if like we had to pay extra for it or something, but you don't even need Photoshop CS6 like I have. You can get older versions. They still work very well, and you can still make really good thumbnails with them. It just runs a little bit more differently. A little bit differently, not more differently. But yeah, guys, hopefully you found this useful. Comment below your tip ideas in the comments. Please subscribe for more 3 tips videos. And also, guys, yesterday was the deadline for the skit showcase, so I'm looking through all of your skits. I'm going to be releasing the showcase video soon. School is starting up for me in 5 days, and I'm going away for the weekend as well, so it might be kind of hard to get the video out. I'm watching all of your skits. I'm loving all of them, and I'm showcasing the best ones, and I'm working on that video. Hopefully it will come out very, very soon, so look forward to that, guys. But until then, it has been Norcda. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.